3 and drove it from Mannheim all the way to a place called Pforzheim to visit her mother. And you see, this was actually the first locomotive, yeah, so it raised a lot of awareness. Of course, Carl was not very happy about it, but that was the beginning of public awareness about Mercedes, yeah. Please don't hide your innovation such that your wife has to take it out to the world, yeah. Okay, so this was the first industrial revolution, and then, I don't know why it's not projecting anymore. So, yeah, so then around the beginning of the 20th century, we had the second industrial revolution that was driven by, we had the powered, electricity came and we had the powered factories and mass production. And then towards the end of the 20th century, just after the World War, we had the mainframe computers and other big computers that could be used in offices. I'm making specific reference to the World War because you can imagine if computers had come before the World War, we would even be sitting here today. I think the world would have perished, yeah? But so we are saying after the World War, around the later part of the 20th century, we had Industry 3.0, and then now, of course, we have 4.0, and this was, it was a term that was coined also by the German government in 2011. And this was in reference to the companies that were coming up with smart devices, embedded devices, data control, and so on, in many of those federal republics, the federal counties are called Bundesländer, that were manufacturing their own goods to sell within the federal state. So here we are now talking about smart automation. We are talking about computers that are smaller than the ones that were in the third generation. We are talking about robotics, artificial intelligence. And so we can actually say that now we are living somewhere between Industry 4.0 and Industry 5.0, where we are saying, yeah, the future, it's really the future of work, but is it really a future? This is actually the now, we are living in it. So it is becoming very critical to understand both Industry 4.0 and Industry 5.0 so that we know how we can be able to leverage this. For example, if you look at Industry 4.0, these smart devices are generating a lot of raw data. We're having massive data sets that are being generated automatically through monitoring. And yeah, I think electronics have today refused me. Can you still hear me? Yeah, so this data can be used for decision making, but for it to be sufficient for decision making, yeah, we can say that data is a new oil. Where is the refinery? Who are the refiners? Yeah? Because remember, how oil is refined directly affects the kind of oil that you get. Yeah? So it's still the same thing with data, the new oil, that we need to get to equip the refiners with skills such that they can be able to to process this data correctly, manage it correctly, and so that it can be able to aid in decision support. So when you hear about when you hear of these terms, yeah, IoT, we have AI, big data, we have these ones on the list, yeah, but we still have others. You see, there is quite a number of terms that encompass Industry 4.0. Like, for example, I'm sure you've heard of distributed ledger technology, yeah, blockchain, yeah. You've heard of quantum computing, you've heard of mixed reality, which encapsulates virtual reality, augmented reality, and so on. So all these technologies, yeah, when they come and they're used to control the machines, they're used to monitor quality, analyze data, then we get Industry 4.0, yeah. So we are really talking about an environment of smart machines speak to each other, and they generate data that does their own self-monitoring. And we can also have situations where we can build digital twins of, for example, a smart environment. A smart city can have its digital twin that helps to monitor the city. We can have, for example, in precision agriculture, we can have a copy, an electronic copy of a farm and so on. Yeah? So we are really talking about very intelligent production. Now, let's talk about some of the weaknesses, or can we say the challenges that characterized in the Industry 4.0. Fear of jobs. Yeah. People were saying that these machines, yeah, when they come and do all these things, what will we do? In fact, there was a meme of someone, I don't know whether you saw it, a Korean lady who was washing dishes, or washing clothes with the hand, and then she was frowning and saying, oh, they say the AI was going to come and take our jobs. How come I'm still washing dishes? Yeah. So yeah, but you see, this, in fact, it is. There have been a lot of papers that have been written. In fact, UNESCO even published a paper to say that by 2030, about 90 million jobs will be displaced. Yeah? And they will be replaced by jobs that require a different set of skills from what was there. Yeah? Like, for example, purely automated jobs are going to be replaced, clerical jobs and so on. And then we are going to have more jobs that require critical thinking, design thinking, and so on. Yeah? So, of course, most of those people who did not have those skills were scared. We also have the challenge of, you see, when machines are interconnected like that, sometimes they become hard to manage. Because if the network fails, what happens? Yeah? We have other issues like cybersecurity and so on. There is also the problem of waste, because you see, if you're walking and you get lost, usually you will not have walked too far unless umechanganyikiwa kabisa, yeah? If you are driving and you get lost, most of the time you will have driven quite far. In this case, we are flying. Where will you have gotten by the time you get direction? Yeah. So it's really, you see, when we are talking about very high production rate and we are using a lot of material to do the production, when there is a mistake made, it leads to a lot of waste. And of course, the last one is about burnout. The Industry 4.0 is more of machine focused. We focus more on productivity and less on the human wellness. So there's really a lot of burnout and job dissatisfaction. And that is what brings me to Industry 5.0. So this one kind of combines the power of machines and the intelligence of the human being in order to bring a very powerful, complex product. Yeah. But in addition to this, you know, we are talking about innovation, but we also have two other things in the equation. We also have collaboration and sustainability. Very, very strong. Yeah? So that we are saying we are keeping all the other stuff from Industry 4.0, but then we bring in the human and we put that human at the center. Yeah? So, of course, this is a more powerful revolution, and it's really now assuring workers that no, you're not being replaced. In fact, you're being made efficient, and you're going to be the decision makers. Yeah? So can everyone then come up with their unique ideas, and then together we make the machines even more powerful. Of course, now in this case, we are saying that we now move from the mechanical routine of everyday activity, and we now focus on how do we build ideas, how do we solve complex problems, and create custom solutions. So I already told you about the digital twin, where we have this twin of the city. Yeah? In this case, we still have digital twins, but it's the twin of the human being. Yeah? It's the twin of the twin of the brain that is supposed to control this machine, so that you see the decision becomes even better. So then the question becomes here, yeah? If you are an employer, of course some of you are employers, I'm also talking to the students. Yeah? If you are an employer and you have, let's say 4 things, yeah? These are the most basic. Which one would you give more priority? Would you hire someone who is very good with HCI? Will you think of someone who has sustainability in mind? You know, sustainability is a practice of using resources in a way that will make it available to the next generation. Yeah, will make the next generation also be able to use those resources efficiently. So are you going to think about that as the most important thing? Or will you be focusing on resilience? Yeah? Or is it going to be ethics? I want to give you another example. There are some statistics that I had. I think they're in my phone. I forgot to carry. But you see, Kenya, if you compare Kenya with Nigeria, for example, in the case of how much carbon waste is generated, Nigeria is far, they generate more carbon waste per tons, yeah, per millions of tons. But but you see, Nigeria is a more densely populated place, so I'm not going to use Kenya as the best example, yeah? So let me use Nigeria as the best example. The population of Nigeria is about, as of 2022, I think it was about 723 million, if I'm not wrong. And at that time, in 2021, they were generating about 234 million liters, 234 million tons of carbon dioxide. That was the emission, yeah? Look at Germany. Germany has a population of about 78 million. How much millions of tons of carbon dioxide do they generate? About 720 something. Almost, Nigeria is generating almost 16% less of emission, but they have almost 3 times more the population. Yeah. So then the question becomes, when we talk about sustainability, who should be who should learn from who? Yeah. Who should go for benchmarking of how to produce less carbon emissions? But that doesn't really mean that we should now stop focusing on sustainability. Yeah? We are doing well, but we should continue to protect the environment and also to work ethically. So I want to bring us back to Africa, where we are talking about this journey that we are moving towards Industry 5.0. Yeah? African countries have common characteristics, some of which are good and some are bad. I will start with the good news, that the median age, we have a median age advantage. Yeah? Like, for example, most of the African countries, you will find that the youth are the ones who are the majority of the people at work, yeah, the job market. So, and that is, of course, it's completely different out there in the West, yeah. And that means that African countries have high productivity, they have high resilience, and they also have, they also assure of longer term service before they go into pension. Yeah? At the same time, we also have underutilized innovation capacity that TVETs can gladly tap into and be able to leverage on. We have labor shortage, and this now brings me to the entrepreneurship aspect of 5.0, where we are saying, yeah, can we stop going to look for jobs and start creating these jobs? We also have a very large informal economy, and I was very glad to hear that one of the polytechnics, I don't remember which one, was actually bringing the industry into campus, yeah. And I'm thinking that we can even move beyond that to start offering micro certifications, where we are saying that yes, these jobs, they are the majority, but they are not bad. They are actually the ones that are driving the economy. Can we now introduce the paperwork into it to make it standardized? We have skills mismatch that, again, TVETs need to exploit in terms of alignment, so that we don't have stagnation of opportunity as a result of the mismatch. Another thing that is producing stagnation is a digital divide. And of course, we have one group that has it, especially like the Gen Z. Most of them are very techno-savvy and they have these devices. And then we also have others that don't. And also because of the remoteness of some places, you find it's very difficult to access some of the digital services. I was talking to someone over lunch, and one of the things that we talked about was brain drain, where our ideas are being stolen by the West. Our workers, after they graduate, they are being encouraged to go outside and look for jobs. And when I say outside, I mean outside Kenya. It's good because this individual will go out there and get a job, but what does it do to the economy? You are the one who have upskilled. You know, education is an investment. And then this person goes out there. How can we be able to leverage Industry 5.0 to ensure that there is no brain drain? In fact, we should have brain gain, where people from outside are coming into the country and generating ideas and money. I think we had money is very, very important. So we are actually balancing between some advantage that we have this very a lot of youth productivity, and we have another one that is low productivity as a result of mismatch and digital divide. So we need to find a way of leveraging the advantage and also minimizing the threat so that we can achieve what we want to achieve. So moving forward, we're saying that really TVETs need to evolve so that we now move beyond the usage of tools and we start focusing on the creation of these tools. And that, of course, brings us to the concept of applied research. You know, for the longest time possible, research has been thought to be the domain of universities. Please, it is not. Research is for everyone. You can do research in your own way, your own magnitude, but the important thing is that you should continue to do research because this helps to refine your knowledge, it helps you to align with what is out there, it helps you to solve gaps, to identify which gaps exist, and also to identify the optimal solutions for solving the gaps. Of course, we have technology, incubation, industry. I will not really talk about all these things, but we are just saying that there is quite a lot of things that can help with structural transformation of TVETs so that we move from the paradigm shift of this is a technical training institute. We are not really focusing on acquisition of technical skills, but instead we want to bring out graduates that are very innovative, have a lot of teamwork and collaboration, and focus on sustainability. So in fact, when we talk about the first international conference of Michuki National Polytechnic, we say that this is actually, it signals this paradigm shift. So we actually are in the right trajectory. Can we now continue with that? Of course, I will suggest some of the other things that we can be able to do so that we leverage 5.0. So we are saying that we should move from being training centers to being the engines of innovation. For example, in this county, Michuki National Polytechnic is actually, can we say it's a baby of Murang'a County? Can we ensure that Murang'a County gains significantly as a result of what is offered here? Of course, as an associate professor of the university, I have to sell the university perspective. We are saying that here, universities for the longest time possible have been doing research. So it's very important that we try to benchmark with universities as research hubs and see how can we be able to garner the research expertise and the resources so that we align with the Industry 5.0. Of course, one of the things that we do at KCA University is we have research clusters, and these are interdisciplinary. We don't have clusters that have just one subject. We will have an entrepreneur, we'll have someone in IT, we'll have someone in social sciences and so on, so that when there is a call for grants, then the whole group is completely multidisciplinary. Of course, we have the Research, Innovation and Outreach Division where I'm the Dean, and our focus here is really to centrally coordinate the activities of research and also the activities of innovation. So we just simply facilitate and manage any innovation outputs. At the same time, it is important for universities not to monopolize the research. So it's important that we democratize the access of research to TVETs. Because I think TVETs for the longest time possible have been focused on more on training and less on research. So it's very important to bring them gently on board and open up the research space for them too. So of course we are saying that universities have this role. They have the obligation to break those barriers, the traditional barriers, and actively share the research resources, the data, collaborative opportunities, and so on. In fact, about 2 weeks ago, I attended a stakeholder forum that was called for by the State Department for Science, Research and Innovation. And one of the thorny issues that was put on the table was, where are the TVETs? Why are the universities not collaborating with the TVETs? Actually, it was quite disturbing. And I think moving forward, it's very, very important that we do these partnerships so that we bridge the gap and we gain from each other, because we both the university and the TVET have a lot to offer. So we're saying here that we should focus on both the production of knowledge and also the practical skills and problem-solving ability, so that we prepare our graduates for the future market. Yeah, I know that TVETs are very well aligned now with CBE. We have this crop that is now just currently joined senior secondary, and soon they will be spilling into the universities and technical and the national polytechnics and even the technical institutes. But I think I can honestly say that the TVETs are better prepared for them than the universities. Yeah, because the universities, yeah, it varies from university to university. Some are trying to see what can we do. Others just, we have still not started thinking about it. But it's important that we have this alignment with the competency-based education and see how we can be able to bring in this new crop. Of course, I can't stress more about data science alignment. Both Industry 4.0 and 5.0 are generating a lot of data, and it's very important to learn analytical skills so that we can be able to keep up to date with respect to policy alignment. So essentially what I'm saying here is that yes, universities are research hubs, but at the same time, TVETs are also, they encapsulate the knowledge of the technical knowledge and also the innovation. So it's very important to develop this hub and spoke model where we have the university on one side, but we also have the TVETs, the industry, and the government collaborating together. So in fact, TVETs in this case, we can call them applied innovation labs, because they are kind of like the pipeline between the classroom and the market. And TVETs have a lot of advantages, like for example, flexibility of these short courses, so that it's very easy to change with the market, rapid experimentation, and even the sandboxes where we are saying that the graduates are, the students are allowed to experiment and fail and try again. And I think that such environment is very, very good for the purpose of idea to commercialization, pipeline. So I want to move slightly further. I've been told I don't have much time. So just to spotlight Michuki National Polytechnic, we are saying that here, with your kind of advantage, it is possible to actually do quite a lot more in order to leverage 5.0. One of the things is that given the environment within which you are, that is actually agro-tech friendly, it is possible to have an agri-tech innovation center, where we are saying here that you can actually pilot solutions for smart farming. You can pilot, I think I saw there some mechanical tools that are able to help farmers. And of course, we are saying that you can also have some small solutions for the local problems that farmers have. Of course, we also have the digital, the SME digitization, where you can work with the SMEs on certification projects, e-commerce apps, and so on. And then micro-credentials that I talked about. But the focus here should be on impact to the community, so that we have the community benefiting from the skills. So indeed, the future skills matrix encompasses 4 key things, among others. Again, I won't read through them, but we are saying here that innovation, the ability to innovate so that we are able to create a job rather than seek jobs. and also the ability to collaborate and think sustainability is what the future worker should, those are the abilities that the future worker should have. Think also of quality, because again, research without quality is meaningless. Innovation without quality also is not credible. It is very important that TVET research should meet the global standards. Of course, we can also talk about the pathways to innovation and commercialization, but I won't really talk about this so much because the previous keynote speaker already talked about this idea to commercialization pathway. I think he had the four. I only introduced the last one on validation, where we're saying we have the ideation, you prototype, validate it with users, and then of course you protect the IP before it enters the market. But the focus here is on money. Of course, it's important that the graduate who goes out there can be able to make money. I already talked about networking with the government, industry, and universities. Very, very important. And we are saying here, just like the PS had said in the morning, collaboration is not negotiable. It's actually mandatory that universities and TVETs, they provide the solutions. I think we can start with the industry. The industry provides the problems. And then the universities, and I mean the academia provides the solutions, and then the government enables the implementation. So in terms of funding diversification, again, that was also very much stressed by the previous speaker. And there was someone who asked a question that I found very interesting. What is it that the institutions can do so that we stop relying on external funding? Yeah? Of course, we can rely on government capitation, but the government should also increase the allocation, because I wish the PS was still here, because it's research has shown that actually the TVETs need more allocation for the purpose of research and innovation. Maybe 10 or 20% more that is actually gotten, but this should actually be dedicated funding with the proper accountability, where we can measure the budget line to the impact. Like for example, for this budget line, what are the innovations that have hit the market? How many graduates have actually gone out there and started their spin-offs and employed others? So if those metrics can be obtained, then it will actually justify why the government should fund research and innovation. Of course, other ways of making money, I've seen already bottled water and so on. Last week, I had the opportunity to go to Accra and we visited University of Ghana, and I saw IPU. They have a concept called IPU, I think institutional production units, where they produce, like the mechanical engineering produces agricultural tools, the electrical engineering produces solar charging units and so on. Those are actually things that you can think about in establishing academic and financial freedom, so that we don't have to rely on external funding. It's really about self-sustainability. Of course, strengthening graduates. Here, this can be done through allowing the graduates to pursue advanced degrees, joint supervisions with university professors. Yeah? It's very, very important that you have a joint supervision model where the TVET supervisor is supervising the methodology and technical skills, and then the university supervisor is supervising the literature review approach. Of course, mentorship pipelines are also very important. This is just about the digital transformation roadmap. Again, since I will be sharing these slides, I will not really dwell on this. Green and sustainable technology integration. This is one of the key characteristics of Industry 5.0. It's very, very important to align with sustainability. And that takes me, this is actually aligned to the next slide, yeah? That how do we build reputation, and at the same time, how do we generate income? Of course, the first is research visibility. You know, if you can do some work here and generate some good results, but few people know. But if you publish, the world will know. So it's very important to establish research visibility, to establish international collaborations. Maybe you already have, but TVET should reach out more to international partners. Hosting international conferences like this one, and publishing applied research. going back to the issue of carbon emission, given that we already know that Kenya can be benchmarked, why not develop a sustainability project beyond solar? Everyone, even the West is doing solar. Why not develop a sustainability project and then establish some summer school where Europeans will be coming to benchmark and learn? Believe you me, they will come and they will charge high registration fees. So that's just, I mean, we have a lot of things that we are saying can actually help to build institutional reputation. So of course, global competitiveness, and we can also talk about policy alignment. It's very, very important to align with national policy and the global framework when we are thinking about moving into the future of work and the next future. Of course, it's important to also leverage on data analytics and use data as a strategic asset. So I can ask, maybe are TVETs tracking employability of their graduates? Maybe yes. Is it optimal? Are you able to track, like for example, right now, do you have a database where you can tell, like last year, the people who graduated last year, how many are in jobs? How many are still looking for jobs? It's very, very important for decision support. So we are saying that we should move towards evidence-based decision making. So the youth, the TVET youth of 2035 would look like that. You would have those characteristics where we are saying that we are saying entrepreneurial is at the very center, but is also an engineer, an artisan, technician, and so on. So these are actually the characteristics that we should be building into the future of work. So in concluding, we are saying that the future of work belongs to those who build that future, and TVETs are actually in the midst of those who are building the future. And the current Industry 4.0 demands competence among the graduates. But Industry 5.0 demands conscience, where we are saying that yes, we have the competence, but we should also have the conscience, where we are thinking about the next generation, we are thinking about other people and collaborating with them, and we are also thinking innovation. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation, despite the afternoon and the heat.
Thank you. Let's give a clap to Prof. A better one. I think Prof has done a very good job telling us about Industry 5.0 and Industry 4.0. Let's give a good clap. I think, thank you so much. Because of we have another session after this. We have the paper presentations that are going to take place after this. Maybe I'll kindly only give 2 chances for anyone who may want to ask a question or a comment so that we can be able to prepare for the next session. Just 2. Maybe one from this side and one from the other side, if there's any.
Do you have any questions? We have one here from Dr.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prof. A very great presentation, very simply delivered. I am conflicted on the position and the role that the university is playing in TVET and the mainstream TVET, because now leveraging on the opportunities that TVET creates and that it generates. Now the universities now have developed TVET centers within the university. So you have many TVET centers within the universities, and then we have the TVETs. I'm a proponent of the TVET from my background. I have been in academia before I transitioned as well. What is the best model that you would advise an institution like Michuki University? I mean, Michuki technical TVET, Yes. What modalities would be easy for them to engage, especially with the university? I have a model of how I think a regulator like KEPS, which is a strong player, should engage with a TVET. But what is the position of the engagement with the university? Because just like you said, it's very, very important. That collaboration, the silo mentality needs to be broken. And we can see this from Professor Shaukat, what he's also trying to do in the new State Department, of giving relevance and a lot of spotlight to the TVET. That also would also help me, because I have a very big pool of universities that I'm already collaborating with, developing commercial products how do I bring in the TVET in my collaborations with the universities as well? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So the first question you have is on role of universities. And I want to plead guilty that indeed the universities are very, they are very reluctant to give up that component of TVET back to the TVETs, yeah? You know, even when the universities were told, no, you don't need to teach diplomas and certificates, this need to go to TVET, they decided instead of now taking those students to the TVET institutions, can we create some technical unit within the university that will handle it? It's really about money, yeah? But honestly, I mean, if we are honest with ourselves, we can say that yes, we can leave the technical, can we say the delivery of technical skills to the TVET, and then we focus more on the research component, the research and innovation component. But again, of course, this is a man-eat-man society. What modalities for TVETs to engage with universities? I had mentioned a few of them. In my opinion, I would think that yes, we can open up the research space and also collaborate with TVETs in joint projects, joint mentorship, joint supervision of projects, and so on, so that we are all helping the community by spewing out graduates that are industry relevant, or they are relevant for the problem solving of the current job market. I don't know if I have answered your question.
Maybe if you have a last one, yes, maybe from Dr. Bakiro, you can take one.
Thank you very much, Prof, for that excellent lecture. I'm always interested in learning new technologies. The issues on data. Recently, I was told the richest country in 2030 will be the one which is having a lot of data. And this simply means that who owns data controls it. In the light of digital divide, what can we do to secure our data in Africa? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, that's a very, very important question. That on one side, we have, Africa is very data rich. We have a lot of data about unique phenomena that you cannot see anywhere else in the world, yeah? And then most of the, can we say, because of the industrialization that happened earlier elsewhere, most of those people have already solved most problems. They don't have a lot of problems to solve. So we are the ones that they can come to looking for research problems, yeah, and innovation problems. But at the same time, we are constrained with data. I know that the government and also some other affiliations have started coming up with the HPCs, the high performance computing environments, so that they encourage researchers and innovators within the country to save their work and also do analysis within the HPC environment. And that I find to be a very, very critical move in terms of allowing can we say safe storage of our own data rather than releasing it to other countries where we really do not have control over. But of course, it's true that the person who has data is actually the richest. Yeah? You see Uber, yeah? If we talk about Uber here today, the owner of Uber does not own cars. Yeah, they just own the platform and the data is generated and they get millions. Yeah? And let me talk about billions. Yes, and several other such models that are data dependent. So really data is, it's really the source of richness.
Thank you so much. I think because of time, we may not be able to allow for any other questions. Kindly, for those who have questions, you can maybe see the Prof at your own time before she leaves this place. Otherwise, thank you so much for this session. I've been the chair, Dr. Fred Agengo, and giving back to our MC. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us appreciate the chair, Dr. Frederick Agengo, and of course, our prof, Professor Lucy, for giving us such practical and forward-looking insights in the industry. We truly do appreciate. Thank you, Professor. Tumpigie makofi one more time, Professor. Asante, Madam. All right, ladies and gentlemen, right now, I'd like to give some directions on our next session, which is the parallel session. We are going to have our presenters giving us some few presentations in several rooms. We have 3 rooms. The first room is room MB16. We have a building there that's written multipurpose complex. There we are going to have the sub-theme food security and agribusiness for sustainable development, entrepreneurship and innovation for economic development, green skills and sustainable practices. Then we have another room, this one, which is the plenary hall. Here we're going to have the sub-theme engineering and industry 4.0 and 5.0. And then we're going to have digital transformation and emerging technologies. And then we have the final room, which is the conference hall. The conference hall there, we're going to have the subtitle, Inclusive TVET for Sustainable Development and Cross-Cutting Issues. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 22 presenters who are going to be taking us through this particular session. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read all the names, but we are advised, our presenters, to meet at the staff lounge so that we can be guided further. With your permission, should I read the names of the halls? Perfect, thank you very much. For MB16, the multipurpose complex, we are going to have 8 members. The first one is Cyrus Maina from Mukiria TTI. We have Daniel Karanja from Mukiria. We have Ken Kamau Mwangi from Thika Technical Training Institute. We have Brian Kim Kemboy from Kibkabas Technical and Vocational College. Then we have Nixon Gogo from Kenya Coast National Polytechnic. We have Angela Wangoi from Thika Technical Training Institute. We have Sami Kipking-Tich from Kibkabas Technical and Vocational College. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, we have Moses Njogu from Michuki National Polytechnic. That is going to happen in MB16, the multipurpose complex, room 16. All right, for the plenary room here, we have 7 members, 7 presenters. We have Adam Yakini Chao Mochofi from Michuki National Polytechnic. We have Clive Mokono Omurwa from Moi University. We have Boniface Asangula from Matili Technical Training Institute. We have John Lumukwana from Michuki National Polytechnic. Herbert Njagi from Mukiria Technical Training Institute. Boniface Gitao from Jeremiah Nyaga National Polytechnic. And finally, we have Cornelius Kip Koech from Kibkabas Technical and Vocational College. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, for the conference hall, we are going to have Amos Tonui from Kibkabas Technical and Vocational College. We have Charlotte Koech from the Eldoret National Polytechnic. Karen Kamau from Thika Technical Training Institute. We have Doris Mwende from Thika Technical Training Institute. Caroline Kogo from the Eldoret National Polytechnic. Cheriyot Kibkabas Technical and Vocational College. And finally, we have Alfred Kemboy from Kibkabas Technical and Vocational College. It is Cheriyot Maritime from Kibkabas Technical and Vocational. Kibkabas. It is the Abu Kudu thing. Kibkabus Technical and Vocational College. Thank you very much, sir, for that correction. Ladies and gentlemen, those are our presenters. Thank you so much today. You've been a wonderful, wonderful guest. Tomorrow we are still going to be here for a lot of keynote presentations. I'm urging you to be here quite early so that we can continue with our program. Vile ambavyo imefanyika leo. Thank you so much. God bless you. Right now we are breaking into the parallel sessions. Are we guided? Asante, asante. All right.
Okay, an emphasis, kindly the presenters move to the staff lounge where the ushers will guide you to the respective venues. All the presenters, please, let's move to the staff lounge where the ushers will guide you to the respective venues. Thank you.
I'd just like to appreciate the keynote speakers for the day, Dr. Samuel, Professor Lucy, the plenary team, the exhibitors, the sponsors, the tutors, the principals, the trainees. Thank you so much for being here. We truly do appreciate you. Right now, if you allow me, I'm going to leave you in the very able hands of my DJ. I've been your host for the day. My name is MC Dinda, and it's truly been an honor. Thank you so much. DJ, twende kazi. Asante, asante. Thank you. All right, as we are moving out, let me read the sponsors of the day, the sponsors who made this possible, and our partners. We have Gown C, your trusted graduation partner. Thank you so much, Gown C. We appreciate. We have Farmer's Choice, your guarantee of quality. We have NCBA, we have Equity Bank, and we have KCB Bank. We have Coca-Cola. We have the Kenya National Highways Authority, Maguna Supermarket, we have the Nation Media Group, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have KNCCI, who have actually made this particular conference possible. Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you so much for being here today, ladies and gentlemen.